School is out for Diane Al-Juma. It's time to go home. The Al-Jumas are one of 4 Syrian families living in the small town of Wegscheid near the Austrian border. Mahmoud, Gofran, and their 2 daughters are considered a model of good integration. The girls speak perfect German even though they've only been here a year. Their parents are learning the language and finding work where they can. They were welcomed with open arms, and they still feel at home in Wegscheid. But the atmosphere has changed, they say, and politics is to blame. I want to ask politicians in Germany, are we refugees or should we integrate? If we should integrate, that means in time we would be like Germans. And that means we would not be refugees anymore. Will they be able to call Germany home in the long term? They say the uncertainty is discouraging. It all looked different just 2 years ago. At the height of the refugee crisis in 2015, around 4,000 migrants and refugees tried to cross into Germany here in Wegscheid every day. More than 60,000 people arrived in just 6 weeks, leaving authorities scrambling. It was a logistical nightmare, and they only just managed, thanks to local volunteers who jumped in to help. Some of them are still active today, like Froni Hackel. Her company builds high-quality beds. They hired Ephraim from Eritrea, who has been granted asylum. The woodworking comes easy. German does not. And the bureaucratic hurdles are high in this border region. At the start of Ephraim's training in 2015, his application wasn't yet approved, so we couldn't go over the border to Austria. But we found ourselves in the situation where the only restaurant in town is 2 houses down on the Austrian side of the border. That meant we couldn't go over for lunch. Froni also works at ICUNet in Passau. They guide companies through the process of internationalization. Masi is their IT expert. He and his family arrived here in 2013 from Herat in Afghanistan. They have been granted refugee status, but his future hangs in the balance. His asylum application was denied. He has an extension for the next year. While Syrian and Eritrean refugees are almost certain to be granted asylum, Afghan refugees are increasingly facing deportation. Before I got my extension, the risk was high that the police would show up one night at my door and pick me up and take me to the plane. I was really scared. The solidarity for Masi is huge, not only because the situation is so absurd, but also because it's so personal for us. Back at the workshop, Froni says, for now, Masi and Ephraim are safe, but their futures are uncertain. They say they need a clear signal from the government to know whether they really are welcome in Germany.